Indian art and architecture. And under this head, we have to study about the Mauryan art. Second topic, subtopic. Postmodern trends in the art and architecture. Postmodern trends in the art and architecture. Then third topic we have to discuss under this head is all about the temple architecture. Temple architecture followed by Indo-Islamic art and Indo-Islamic art and architecture and modern Indian architecture. And we could expect at least one complete question in mains examination from this section, or 2 and 3 objective type questions in a preliminary examination. So this topic is a very, very important topic. So Indian art and architecture. And let's start with this modern art and architecture, because we have already studied Indus art and architecture while we were discussing about the Indus Valley civilization. And there I told to you people that Indus Valley, people of Indus Valley civilization were the people of artistic creations, and they produced so many objects and artifacts out of clay, soil or stone, and some metallic objects. So they produce seals and ceilings and images, and even they produce images of bronze, and they were aware of gold and silver and so many other things we have discussed there. So let's start with this very first topic, the modern art and architecture. The modern art and architecture, and the we can divide this modern art and architecture into two. That form of the modern art which was patronized by or constructed on the orders of the modern emperors like Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka and his grandson Dashrath. So even the so many structures and buildings were constructed on the orders of the modern emperors. So that form of the modern art is called court art of the Mauryans. First one, court art of the Mauryans. And another one, public art of the Mauryans, another form. Public art of the Mauryans. So public art of the Mauryans means that form of modern art which was developed or patronized or developed by the commoners like the Buddhist traders and rich strata of the Mauryan society, and the Mauryan elite class used a distinguished form of pottery, earthenware, मिट्टी का बर्तन, pottery, called northern black polished ware. अगर आपने होमवर्क किया होगा तो ये मिला होगा, NBPW, northern black polished ware. While the Hadappans, they produce black and red ware, later Vedic elites, they used later Vedic elites, they produce and they used a distinguished form of pottery called PGW, or painted grey ware. While the Mauryans, the Mauryan elites, they used their own distinguished and specialized form of pottery called NBPW, northern black polished ware. So the commoners, the Mauryan commoners, even they produce their own form of art and architecture. And the Mauryan commoners, they also continued their aged old practice of constructing images of demigods and demigoddesses. Ardha Deviya. Demigods and goddesses called Yakshas and Yakshinis. Demigods, status of demigods and demigoddesses, मतलब मनुष्य और देवता के बीच में, somewhere in between, status in between the deities and the people, man. So they produce images of yakshas and yakshinis. So that form of art is called public art of the Mauryans, and we have court art of the Mauryans, and this part is important for us. And court art of the Mauryans means that form of Mauryan art patronized by the Mauryan emperors, patronized by the Mauryan emperors, such as Chandragupta Maurya, such as Chandragupta Maurya. And Chandragupta Maurya, he got constructed a massive wooden palisade, royal, and that was royal palace, wooden palisade. And that wooden palisade was also mentioned by Megasthenes in his textbook Indica. And the same wooden palisade have been recovered from the excavation at Kumrahara in Patna, original Patliputra site called Kumrahara in Patna. And apart from his royal palace of wood, Chandragupta Maurya also ordered construction of an assembly hall, Raj Darbar assembly hall. And that assembly hall, according to Megasthenes, that assembly hall was based on 80 pillars, 80 pillars. So it was a massive assembly hall as well. But and apart from these two structures, we are not aware of any other type of a structure constructed on the orders of the Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. And Bindusar, he had inherited a vast empire, a huge empire from his father Chandragupta Maurya. And Bindusar, every time, it seems that every time he was busy in consolidation of his empire he had inherited from his father. Every time he was busy in managing his own affairs of the state. And he never fought any major battle except for suppressing a revolt at Takshashila, and that revolt was originally suppressed by the governor of Avanti or Ujjaini, Prince Ashoka. So Bindusara failed to contribute anything in this sphere of the court art of the Mauryans. So mainly Ashoka, court art of the Mauryans means art forms developed on the orders of the great emperor Ashoka, Devanampiya. Ashoka, his title, Devanampiya Piyadasi, beloved of the god of good appearance. So Chandragupta Maurya, but Bindusara failed to contribute anything. And then Ashoka contributed a lot. So Ashoka also started a new trend in the art and architecture, construction of artificial caves. Ashoka ordered construction of artificial caves, and he had ordered to construct 4 artificial caves in the Barabar hills of Gaya district of Bihar. Sudama, Karna Chopad, Vishwa Jhopdi, Lomas Rishi cave, उस पे नाम खुदवाया, सुदामा केव, ऐसे ऐसे करके 4 नाम, 4. So 4 artificial caves were engraved on the orders of Emperor Ashoka, and that tradition of construction of artificial caves was also further continued by his grandson Dasrath. And day before yesterday, I think we discussed that Ashoka was not succeeded by his sons. And Ashoka had 4 sons. Mahendra, he became a Buddhist monk. Jalok was appointed the king of Kashmir, and he had 2 more sons, Tiwar and Kunal. And what had happened with Tiwar and Kunal, we don't have any idea. So when Ashoka passed away in the year 232 before Common Era, he was not succeeded by any of his sons, but he was succeeded by his grandson Dasrath. So when Dasrath became the emperor, in this sphere of from this perspective of art and architecture, he continued further that form of architecture introduced earlier by his grandfather Ashoka, and even he ordered construction of artificial caves in the same Gaya district but in different hills called Nagarjuni hills. So while Ashoka got constructed 4 artificial caves in the Barabar hills, his grandson Dasrath ordered construction of 3 caves in the Nagarjuni hills in Gaya district of Bihar. So even Dasrath had also contributed, but up to a very limited extent. So Dasrath, his grandson, Ashoka's grandson Dasrath. So Chandragupta Maurya is credited to have constructed a wooden palisade, his royal palace. Along with 80-pillared assembly hall. And this royal palace along with assembly hall was mentioned earlier by Megasthenes in his textbook Indica. So while Ashoka was mainly responsible for development of the Mauryan art and architecture, and Ashoka he found out a unique method of addressing his officers, bureaucrats and commoners, and to convey his messages to the commoners, officials and bureaucrats and Dhamma Mahamatras, he started engraving his orders on the rocks and pillars. So Ashoka is also famous, apart from his state policies, Ashoka is also famous for his pillars. So let's discuss this Ashokan art separately. So Ashokan pillars, he is famous for contributing the construction of pillars called Ashokan pillars. So apart from construction of large number of pillars, Ashoka is also credited to have constructed large number of stupas, hemispherical, dome-shaped solid structure, and according to a Buddhist text named Ashoka Vadan, he got from somewhere, Ashoka got relics of Gautam Buddha, and he had distributed relics of Gautam Buddha to important cities of his empire and ordered construction of stupas on the relics of Gautam Buddha or Bhagwan Buddha. So he got constructed stupas and artificial caves and viharas, artificial caves and viharas, and images of elephants images of stone images of elephants, और ये ऐसे लिख सकते हैं, engraved out of stones at Dhauli and Kalsi. At Dhauli and Kalsi. So pillars, stupas, artificial caves, and images of elephants. And why he was interested more in engraving images of elephants? Because in the Buddhism, elephant symbolizes birth event of Siddhartha, and that's why he got constructed two stone images, huge stone images of elephants. First one at Dhauli is in Odisha, and Kalsi in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. And apart from all these, Ashoka, when he visited birthplace of Tathagat, birthplace of Gautam Buddha, and he himself had mentioned that in his 20th regnal year, he visited Lumbini or Rummindei, village named Lumbini or Rummindei, and there he had reduced land tax from 1/6 to 1/8. And he also said that he ordered enlargement of a stupa of Kanak Muni. Enlargement of stupa dedicated to some Kanak Muni. This also indicates that construction of stupa was of pre-Ashokan times. Means stupas were constructed even before the reign of Emperor Ashoka, but Ashoka ordered construction of large number of stupas. So enlargement of, next one, enlargement of a stupa of Kanak Muni at Lumbini. तो उसने क्या लिखा है प्राकृत लैंग्वेज में? कोना कमन थुहा द्वितीयम वर्धते. ये तो हम लोग इंग्लिश में पढ़ रहे हैं ना. कोना कमन, कनक मुनि, कोना कमन थुहा स्तूपा, कोना कमन स्तूपा थुहा द्वितीयम, डबल द साइज, द्वितीयम वर्धते, दुगना कराया मैंने इसको. छोटा सा स्तूप था, मैंने उसको बड़ा कराया. सो एनलार्जमेंट ऑफ अ स्तूपा ऑफ कनक मुनि एट Lumbini. And right now, right separately, Ashokan pillars. So in order to convey his orders and messages to the state officials and the people of his empire, in order to convey his orders to and messages to the state officials and the people of his empire, he started construction of pillars on large scale and installed at various places of his empire. Installed at various places of his empire. In Prakrit, mainly in Prakrit language, and Brahmi script. But he also used Kharoshthi, Greek and Aramaic script for northeastern people, sorry, northwestern region. So in Prakrit language and Brahmi script, but he also used Kharoshthi script, Greek script and Aramaic script to address the people of northwestern parts of his empire, mainly Pakistan and Afghanistan. And Ashokan pillars were, when Ashokan pillars were engraved, Ashokan pillars were engraved out of one block of stone, single piece of stone, 14 meter, 15 meter, 20 meter, huge block of stone. And a huge block of stone, while it was engraved, it was given shape of a pillar. So Ashokan pillars are jointless, मतलब जोड़ नहीं मिलेगा, जोड़, monolithic. Ashokan pillars are in fact monolithic pillars. Ashokan pillar. See here, this Ashokan pillar, which is recorded from Vaishali in Bihar, and this pillar is monolithic. Pillar is monolithic pillar, and there is just one joint, just one joint. वो जहां पे शेर बैठा है ना, वो जो शेर का प्लेटफॉर्म है और पिलर, बस वहीं पे एक आयरन क्लिप, ऐसे आयरन क्लिप्स लगाई गई हैं, बाकी जॉइंट नहीं है. मेन पार्ट ऑफ द पिलर इज जॉइंटलेस, इट्स मोनोलिथिक. सो दिस पार्ट, lower part, main part of the pillar, and this main part of the pillar, which is known as SHAFT, shaft. Shaft, main part of the pillar. Shaft is monolithic. Monolithic means engraved out of one block of stone, circular, tapering in nature. Circular and tapering in nature. Tapering in nature means decreasing circumference either from bottom to top or from top to bottom. अभी आता है ना tapered jeans. Tapered jeans आता है, तो tapered jeans का मतलब decreasing circumference from top to bottom. So this part is tapering shape, means decreasing circumference from bottom to top. So circular monolithic, tapering, and highly shining or polished. So the Mauryan Empire was also considered to be so unique empire because they were aware of very good or some excellent form of stone polishing, and that stone polishing is lost along with the lost or decline of the Mauryan Empire. That stone polishing, it was one of the finest example of stone polishing, and it perished, declined along with the decline of the Mauryans, and we don't know why. So this main part of the Ashokan pillar is called shaft. This shaft is monolithic. Monolithic means out of, engraved, sculptured out of one block of stone. Circular, monolithic, tapering, decreasing circumference from bottom to top, and one more thing. This main part of the Ashokan pillar also bears his messages. Ashoka engraved his messages on the shaft. So shaft or main pillar is monolithic, circular, tapering, and highly polished and glossy in appearance. Highly polished and glossy in appearance, and an inscription in Brahmi script in India, main part of Indian subcontinent, and Kharoshthi Greek and Aramaic script for the inscriptions on the pillars in the northwestern parts of his empire. While top of the pillar resembles like an inverted lotus, top of the main part, top of the shaft is like an inverted lotus called Avang Mukh. Avang Mukh, inverted Kamal lotus. And a platform for the animal is also constructed there, and that part is called abacus. A-B-A-C-U-S, abacus or base of the animal capital. Animal, that uppermost part of the pillar is called animal capital. So there is a base for animal capital, and this base is square, somewhere is rectangular, or sometime it's drum shaped circular. So circular, square, rectangular base or abacus for the animal capital. So this part, animal capital. Single or four lions, bull or elephant, कहीं पे एक elephant, कहीं पे एक शेर, कहीं पे चार शेर, four lions sitting back to back in a peaceful manner and observing in all the four directions and proving the Emperor Ashoka as the Chakravartin emperor, the great emperor, Chakravartin emperor, whose empire, boundaries of his empire extended in the east and west and north and south in all the directions. And that emperor is called Chakravartin emperor. So four lions, while four lions sitting back to back and observing in all the four cardinal directions, proving the Emperor Ashoka as the Chakravartin emperor. But here at Vaishali, on the top of this pillar, Ashoka engraved just one lion. Okay. To लिखा ना Ashokan pillars. So having three main parts. First part, so having three component. First one, main part of the pillar, main part of the pillar, or shaft, and this shaft is circular, monolithic, tapering, or decreasing circumference, tapering, circular, monolithic, tapering, and highly polished and glossy in appearance and bears inscriptions or writings and one more thing, without a base or platform, without a base or platform, which means directly installed into the soil without having any base or platform. Say this platform जिस पे मैं खड़ा हूं ना, ये प्लेटफॉर्म है. अभी मैं सीधे जमीन में पढ़ा रहा होता 10 से वो है ना, तो अभी मैं प्लेटफॉर्म पे खड़ा हूं. So like that, Ashokan pillars are installed directly into the soil without any base or platform, which means Ashokan pillars are baseless. Ashokan pillars are baseless. So actually this construction of pillar, this was not a kind of innovation of the Emperor Ashoka. ये कोई innovation नहीं था. The Romans had also constructed large number of pillars, and not only Romans or Greeks, but the emperors of Achaemenid Empire, H-A-K-A-M-A-N-I-D, Achaemenid Empire of Persia, were also fascinated in constructing stone pillars. But while Achaemenian pillars, Iranian Achaemenian pillars were installed on a base or on a platform, while Ashokan pillars were installed directly into the soil. Achaemenians, they installed on the top of their pillar, the Achaemenian rulers, they installed images of human figurines, while the Emperor Ashoka installed images of animals. Ashokan pillars are circular, while Achaemenian pillars are rectangular. So we have so many differences, 3 or 4 important differences between the Ashokan pillars and the Achaemenian pillars of the rulers of वो पर्शिया वाले जो थे उसी के contemporary. So main part or shaft, and next part, inverted lotus, or an inverted lotus. This part is the uppermost part of the shaft, resembling an inverted lotus. And right from very beginning, lotus, and even today, lotus is considered to be a sacred flower. है ना, देवताओं देवी देवताओं को लोटस चढ़ाया जाता है, कमल का फूल चढ़ाया जाता है, एंड कंसिडर्ड टू बी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट और वेरी सैक्रेड, ऑफ रिलीजियस नेचर, वेरी सैक्रेड. तो उस जमाने में भी था ऐसा ही कुछ. एंड थर्ड वन, एनिमल कैपिटल एंड इट्स बेस और abacus. Animal capital and its base or abacus. And Ashoka, he had chosen some animals, and not and only those animals, Ashoka had chosen only those animals having some religious importance, or somehow or other those animals are related to the Buddhism or Siddhartha or Gautam Buddha, such as elephant. Elephant in the Buddhist mythology, in the Buddhist mythology, elephant resembles or symbolizes actually birth event of Siddhartha. Birth event of Siddhartha. तो ऐसा बताया जाता है ना बुद्धिस्ट माइथोलॉजी में कि जो उनकी मदर थी महामाया, तो उन्होंने एक दिन सपना देखा. उनके सपने में एक हाथी और एक कमल का तालाब दिखाई दिया जहां वो स्नान कर रही थी, नहा रही थी. फिर वो सुबह, ये सपना था, तो फिर उन्होंने अपने लोगों को बुलाया, संतों को, कि इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन बताओ, मैंने ऐसा ऐसा सपना देखा. तो उन्होंने कहा कि आपका एक बेटा होगा, सो इधर ही विल बी अ चक्रवर्ती एम्परर और अ ग्रेट सेंट. एंड सिद्धार्था became a great saint. तो ऐसा ये माइथोलॉजी है, हिस्ट्री नहीं है ना, हो भी नहीं सकता. सपना हिस्ट्री कैसे हो सकता है? बर्थ इवेंट ऑफ एलिफेंट, बर्थ इवेंट ऑफ सिद्धार्था. एंड हॉर्स, नहीं इसमें तो हॉर्स नहीं है, अशोका में तो नहीं है, वो हम लोग आगे पढ़ेंगे. इसमें है एलिफेंट, लॉयन, शाक्य. इफ यू कुड रिकॉल, मैंने आपसे बताया था literal meaning of Shakya is lion, and Buddha belonged to, Siddhartha belonged to Shakya tribe of Kapilvastu. His father Shuddhodhan was the king of Shakyas of Kapilvastu. So lion symbolizes Shakya tribe of Siddhartha or Gautam Buddha. And सिंगल लायन एंड बुल. या यहां पे एक मिनट, लायन, सिंगल लायन, ठीक है ना, एक शेर जैसे. लौरिया नंदनगढ़, लौरिया नंदनगढ़, वैशाली, लौरिया नंदनगढ़, सिंगल लायन एंड 4 lions sitting back to back. ये लाइन वाली स्पेलिंग सही है ना? इसमें भी बड़ा कंफ्यूजन रहता है मेरे को. LOLI, स्कूल डेज से. वैसे स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक नहीं होता, रेयर ही मेरा होता है, लेकिन कुछ कुछ है ना जो बचपन वाला आज तक रह गया. सो 4 lions सिटिंग बैक टू बैक, such as at, yes, Sanchi, but the most beautiful one at Sarnath. Sanchi and Sarnath. So elephant, lion and bull symbolizes prosperity. Bull symbolizes, in the Buddhism, bull symbolizes prosperity. And Ashoka installed a bull at Rampurva. Rampurva stone pillar. Rampurva stone pillar. एलिफेंट वाले में हम लोगों ने एग्जांपल नहीं दिया. एलिफेंट एट फर्रुखाबाद. एलिफेंट वाले में एग्जांपल लग गया फर्रुखाबाद. कहां है फर्रुखाबाद? बरेली है ना, वेस्टर्न यूपी वाला हिस्सा. एट फर्रुखाबाद. सिंगल लाइन, लौरिया नंदनगढ़, लौरिया अराराज. 4 lions sitting back to back at Sanchi and Sarnath, and bull at Rampurva. Okay. So having three parts. So right, next one. Or from next paragraph, कितना हो गया? So first part, shaft. Second part, inverted lotus. Third part, animal capital. And fourth, ये एक साथ ले लिया हम लोगों ने, बेस और एपिकस. इसमें लिखिएगा 1 मिनट, कॉलम बनाइएगा. Achaemenian or Achaemenian pillars and the Ashokan pillars. So Achaemenian pillars were raised on the platforms. So while Ashokan pillars are baseless. Second, mostly rectangular. And Ashokan pillars are circular. And third difference, human figurines while animal figurines. So it seems perhaps Ashoka was inspired by the Achaemenian pillars, because Achaemenians, they started construction of pillars right from 5th century before Common Era. Right from 5th century before Common Era, and Ashoka lived during the 3rd century before Common Era. So Ashoka also started construction of pillars. So it seems that Ashoka was inspired by the Achaemenian pillars, but he had his own conception in his mind. Ashoka, he had his own conceptions. And now, right from next paragraph. Sarnath, lion capital. Sarnath, lion capital. Sarnath pillar and its lion capital. Sarnath lion capital is the best example of the Mauryan art of sculpture. Is the best example of the Mauryan art of sculpture. आगे लिखिए सारनाथ लायन पिलर, सारनाथ लायन पिलर इज इन ब्रोकन स्टेट, टूटा हुआ है, मिला जब टूटा हुआ था, इज इन ब्रोकन स्टेट एंड सारनाथ लायन पिलर इज इन broken state and preserved in Sarnath Museum, and preserved in Sarnath Museum. While broken shaft, while broken shaft is, while the broken shaft, SHAFT, while the broken shaft, वो टूटा हुआ मिला है, broken shaft is still erected at its original place of installation, is still erected at, still standing, still erected at its original place of installation, at its original place of installation. इसमें लिखिएगा पार्ट्स ऑफ सारनाथ लायन कैपिटल, ऊपर वाला बस जानवर वाला हिस्सा, सब हेडिंग पार्ट्स ऑफ सारनाथ लायन कैपिटल. फर्स्ट पार्ट, सो फ्रॉम बॉटम टू टॉप, इसको मैं दिखाता हूं पहले. दिस वन, ये है ना सारनाथ लायन कैपिटल, इतना कैपिटल है, एंड ओरिजिनली इंस्टॉल्ड ऑन अ पिलर, एंड दैट पिलर इज इन, shaft is in broken state, and this part, this one is in fact replica, it's not original. ये original नहीं है, original picture भी नहीं है. Original Sarnath lion capital is so shiny and glossy that even today you can see your reflection in this stone. So story, this is what we know as story or romance in this stone. इसको बोलते हैं historians romance in this stone. इतना खूबसूरत है. अब इसको देखेंगे कभी सारनाथ जाइएगा, या मैं जब बनारस रहूंगा तब आइएगा, घुमाऊंगा आपको. तो इतना चमकदार है कि अब लगता है जैसे अभी अभी पॉलिश करके लाया गया. 2300 साल, 2300 years ago, and it's still so shiny and glossy in appearance. And this picture is of replica, picture of a replica of Sarnath lion capital. And see, its lower part is in fact uppermost part of shaft, but that shaft is in broken state, and this part is preserved in the Sarnath Museum, this part. And inverted, having only these structures, inverted lotus, and see here abacus or animal base or abacus is not circular or rectangular, it's sorry, square or rectangular, it's circular or drum shape, circular or drum shape. And interestingly, abacus, it has four chakras, wheels, four wheels and four animals, four wheels and four animals. Seems to be moving, पैर उठा के बनाया गया ऐसे जानवर, seems to be moving in a clockwise direction. Bull symbolizing prosperity, elephant birth event of Siddhartha, lion Shakya tribe of Kapilvastu. and a horse. Image of a horse is also engraved here, and a horse in the Buddhist mythology, in the Buddhism, symbolizes Mahabhinishkraman, great going forth of Siddhartha, when he left his home, when he left each and every relationship and each and everything of his life, materialistic aspect of life, and he became a sannyasi. So 4 animals, and upper part 4 lions sitting back to back and seeing in, observing in all the 4 directions, like the Emperor Ashoka, proving the Emperor Ashoka as the Chakravartin Emperor Ashoka. And apart from 4 lions, Ashoka also constructed a huge chakra even on the top of 4 lions. शेरों के ऊपर भी बड़ा सा चक्र बनाया था पत्थर का अशोक ने. But that huge chakra or wheel is in so many pieces, recovered in pieces, into pieces, and all the pieces are beautifully arranged and preserved in Sarnath Museum. And Ashoka, even on the top of animal capital, got constructed a huge wheel to commemorate the Buddhist event in the region of Sarnath. And Sarnath is the place where Gautam Buddha delivered his first sermon or teaching. And Ashoka wanted to commemorate, wanted to celebrate, and wanted to commemorate the Buddhist events at Sarnath, and that's why he got constructed a pillar there. And on the top of the animal capital, Ashoka also constructed a huge wheel or chakra, apart from 4 smaller chakras depicted on the abacus. Okay, so first one, as usual, inverted lotus. Inverted lotus. Then base or abacus, which is in a drum shape and having bears, four chakras or wheels and 4 animals. So a wheel is followed by an animal, and a wheel animal, wheel animal, wheel animal, and wheel animal, like that. Alternative में बनाया गया ना. So 4 chakras or wheels and 4 animals. And chakra symbolizes Dhamma chakra, pravartan, है ना. So chakra symbolizing Dhamma chakra, pravartan. Chakra symbolizing Dhamma chakra, pravartan. And animals, bull. धम्म चक्र प्रवर्तन समझते हैं ना. फर्स्ट टीचिंग बताया था मैंने, फर्स्ट टीचिंग ऑफ गौतम बुद्ध एट सारनाथ. बुल, prosperity, elephant, birth of Siddhartha. And so interesting, see, in the Buddhist mythology, it's mentioned there that when Siddhartha was born, immediately after his birth, he stood up. Immediately after his birth, when he took birth, he stood up and walked 7 steps. Satopanno, 7 steps. And he said, and immediately started speaking as well, because he was not an ordinary child. He was Siddharth, according to the mythology. So he stood up and he walked 7 steps and he said, this is my last birth and I'm not going to have any more birth, which means he was going to get the status of nirvana or freedom from this cycle of birth and rebirth. This kind of stories, अरे बड़े-बड़े लोगों के साथ ऐसी छोटी-छोटी बातें होती रहती है ना, जोड़ देते हैं लोग बाद में माइथोलॉजी में, ठीक है. So bull, elephant, lion, Shakya tribe, क्या बचा? Horse, महाभी, निष्क्रमण. फिर क्या बच गया अशोकन आर्ट में? ये तो हो गया. Cave tradition of Ashoka and Dasrath. Cave tradition of Ashoka and Dasrath. इसमें लिखिएगा. The Emperor Ashoka and his grandson Dasrath, the Emperor Ashoka and his grandson Dasrath Emperor Ashoka and his grandson Dasrath started construction of caves in the hills and donated to the monks of Ajivak sect. Donated to the monks of Ajivak, Ajivaka, Ajivaka sect to live in. Donated to the monks of Ajivaka sect to live in. है ना? तो ये और भी चीज इंडिकेट कर रहा है that the Mauryan emperors were religiously very liberal, while Ashoka himself was a Buddhist. But when he got constructed 4 artificial caves, and he had donated those caves to the monks of Ajivaka sect and not the monks of Buddhist sect or Buddhist religion.